Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Jackson Campbell. How's it going, man?
How's it going, man? It's all good.
All right. So, kind of tell everybody what you do.
I am a content creator and an entrepreneur myself. Um, I love to travel and I love to experience different things. And so, most recently, I went to Hawaii for a month with my friends, and we lived out there and shot a bunch of content, worked with a bunch of different people, and I'm just looking to get more into that.
Yeah. So, okay. So, for people that, for people why Jackson might be familiar, of course, he went to Lakeland High School. So that's
Yes, sir.
that's how people might know him. But why did you want to get into traveling?
I've always loved to see new things. I've always not been able to sit in one place for a long period of time. I've always had to go somewhere, do something, and meeting new people, seeing new things is a big part of my life. And I just met a couple guys that had the same mindset as me, and one thing led to another, and now we're just traveling.
Okay, so usually I've kind of seen this before. There are content creators that just go around and travel the world. What's that like?
It's definitely, I wouldn't say stressful, but it definitely puts you out of your comfort zone. But that's also a big thing that I'm into, putting myself out of my comfort zone. I've never been much of a outgoing kid. I've usually been a shy kid. And so I think that if I'm put in situations where I'm forced to have to talk to people, have to engage with different people that I've never met, it's a huge personal booster, I guess, in my opinion. And
For
so I
sure.
love doing that.
Where have you been?
So we don't really go out of the country quite yet. Actually, next year we're talking about going to Bali, so that'd be the first time that me and my group have been out of the country. But right now, so what we do is we fly one way somewhere, and then we'll buy a car, and then we'll drive it back up to Michigan, and then flip that car and make money. And so for spring break, we actually flew down to Florida because that's where everybody went for spring break. We bought a 2012 Mercedes-Benz C63 AMG, and we drove that all the way back up to Michigan. And then we also bought a 2011 BMW 335i M, and it was a blast. We drove uh, from Florida, we went to South Carolina, and we stayed there a night. And then we went to Tennessee. We stayed there 2 nights. And so we basically just make them big road trips. And it's really nice to get the content out of that. It allows us to make cool videos, interesting stuff. And so that's pretty much what we do. So we've been there. My buddies are actually in Utah right now driving back from Hawaii. And so we're just going all over the place.
Yeah. So you actually this car thing is kind of ties into another business that you run. Let's talk about
Exactly. Yes, sir. Wise Car. So, Wise Car is a automotive website that I run. And so basically, if anyone is in the market for a new or used vehicle, you can hop over to wisecar.com and enter in the make, model, and zip that you're looking for. And the people at my company will get you in touch with a local dealer that will give you the best price for the car that you want.
that. So how did all this start with you? Because, you're not, I mean, you just graduated high school last year,
Yes, sir.
and in less than 1 year, you've traveled the United States and started a business, and you're just, I believe, how old are you? 19?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever what kind of started all this for you?
Well, like I said before, man, I don't like to stay in one place for a long period of time, and and that kind of just pushes me to start new things, do new things, and I've never wanted to work for someone. I don't like feeling confined into a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And so since a kid, I've always been starting little businesses. Me and my buddy, we have a window cleaning business, and that's been super cool. But at some point, I feel like I needed to scale. And that's where Wise Car came in. That's where Platinum Athletic Club came in, my clothing brand. And working on all those together, it allows me to scale the businesses and grow from there. And hopefully, it allows me to never have a 9 to 5 job.
Yeah. So and you're doing a lot of stuff. It's just how much of when did Wisecar start and how is it doing?
So Wise Car originally started in 2018 while I was in high school, and it kind of fell off because I didn't put a lot of my effort into it. A lot of my effort went into sports and school and friends, and I just didn't have the mindset I do now. And ever since college kicked in and I had to give up track because of my knee, I realized that I needed to do something, because if I want to travel, I need to have funds. And so I kind of brought it back, revitalized it, and started it fresh.
Yeah. So and now it's like, what upcoming trips do you have next?
So like I said, we're planning a trip to Bali next year. I don't know if that's gonna work out or if it's not, uh, but it'd be super exciting because it's all cheap down there. The most expensive part would be the flight. So Bali's a big one. Uh, Mostly up north. I think Hawaii was the main thing for right now. I think that I need to focus on school now and getting all my assets in a line. But big, big up and coming, hopefully. Hopefully.
Yeah. So besides that, do you have any other smaller trips, like maybe across the United States that you're looking into?
You never know, honestly. All you gotta do is find the right vehicle. Because like I said, the reason for these trips that we do is to buy a vehicle in a rust-free zone, drive it back to Michigan, which has a lot of rust, and you can sell a $3,000 car for almost 7 grand, So once I find the right vehicle, I'm down to make a trip and make some videos about it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, we're okay. So I know, are there any like destinations of where you want to go?
In the United States or in the world?
Yeah.
In the United so with the world, I've always wanted to go to China. I just want to experience the culture there. And then I always wanted to go to Scotland because I'm Scottish. So I think it would be super cool to like explore like my land, I guess. But coming from the United States, I've always wanted to explore Seattle. I've been there a few times for layovers, been able to like check it out, but I haven't really been able to like dig deep into the Washington state. I also want to check out Montana because it's so beautiful there. And then I always can't give up a trip to go to Tennessee. So I love Tennessee.
Yeah. So if anyone, just fresh out of high school is wanting to start something or in the process of starting something and wants to do, something big, what advice would you really have for them?
Honestly, the biggest thing in my opinion is that they have to just go do it. A lot of the people that I talk to are like, you're crazy for going to Hawaii for a month. They're like, oh, that's so expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. If you do everything right, you don't have to spend that much money to go do the things that you really want. And so a lot of the things holding people back is just their own mind. And I think that if you just say, you know what, I'm going, and don't look back, I think everything will turn out fine in the end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, are you surprised with all the stuff that you've done in the last year?
Um, Looking back at it, yeah, I am. I've come a long way for sure. I used to be a partier all the time and do all this stuff. And now that I'm locked in doing this stuff, traveling, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
All right. Well, where could all right. Well, do you have anything, what's to come in the next few weeks, or do you have anything planned, or we never, or do you think we might have some surprise pop-up thing?
You know, you never know, man. I'm hoping that I'm able to travel before the summer ends. But other than that, I live on a beautiful lake and I'm blessed to have people around me that I can enjoy the summer with. So I might be staying home for a little bit. But if anybody wants to stay up to date with what I'm doing, with what my friends are doing, you can follow my Instagram. It's Jackson Campbell with two J's at the front and two L's at the end. So if you guys want to stay up to date, that's where you'll find me.
All right. Well, Jackson, thanks so much for coming on and talking with us. And to all the viewers out there, if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. I'd really appreciate that. Hit
Yes,
the like
sir.
button too. And if you want, and if you like this podcast or any others, feel free to share it with your friends on social media. All right, Jackson, thanks so much.
Right on. Thank you so much.